huge fan, obviously, with your time on Survivor here. But let's talk about how this, anonymous casting came about for you.
Yeah, so it came at a really crazy time where I was kind of diving into my career just a little bit more, wanting to really focus on my day to day, kind of getting back to normal because I don't think a lot of people realize when you do reality TV, no matter in your own country or another, it kind of takes time to readjust and remember that not everybody is out to get you. So I kind of got into this mode where I was really just focusing on work. And then this opportunity presented itself. And I thought to myself, as long as I don't get fired, like I'm gonna do it. And I was lucky enough that my job said, you know what, go ahead, get it done as long as you promise to come back. And so I was one of the few lucky people that didn't have to give up their job to chase their dream.
What kind of when they kind of approach you with it, what's kind of like your initial thoughts on making pulling that trigger and saying yes though?
So I was very apprehensive at first because I found it very confusing and I couldn't really pinpoint like what is it exactly that the game is. And you can't give away a lot because then that gives a competitor an advantage, which is completely fair. But then I thought to myself, ah, you're working from home. Let's do something fun and unique. And it's the first season. Like, depending on how the game goes for you, you can be a pioneer. You can be somebody that in these future seasons, somebody says, I want to play like Nina, just like they say Boston Rob, Sandra, all these huge players. And then once I kind of got into that, I was like, yep. And I can't help but be one of those people that's like, by the time I'm 40 and people are like, what's some cool things you've done? And I'm like, oh, well, no big deal. But I did this, I did that. It was fun. I met some amazing people. And that's something that really does push me is actually in being involved with people that I would have never met in my life. And I find that so interesting, especially based on my mom's experiences and lifelong friends that she has literally across the world. I want to have that.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely intriguing because, like you said, though, like in the variety of shows that you've been, the amount of shows you've been on already, plus this show, you meet people and you befriend people that you would never in a million years just walking down the street would probably be friends. And obviously, saying that you come from this world of reality TV, how do you think maybe that kind of was going to help you, maybe give you like maybe a little bit of an edge as you went on to this show?
Yeah, so just like anyone with experience, right? You're going to use your past experiences, your decisions, your feelings in a lot of different stressful moments to navigate a new game or competition, whether it's new or not. And so I wanted to use that to the best of my ability. But something that I really find valuable for me, every situation is different because you're dealing with different people at different points in the game. I find what is most valuable to me is kind of more concrete stuff, really getting to know myself and my natural capabilities. After doing Survivor the first and second time, what were the compliments that I got? It was my communication. So, really, really use that. It was my ability to jump from conversation to conversation without confusing anything. It was my ability to pick out clothing that's not going to bother me day to day and sacrifice maybe eating certain meals because I know they're going to hurt my stomach. All these little things that people forget about. I wanted to use to the best of my ability so I can focus on just the game. You're hungry and you're tired, girl. I have been there. I am not worried about that. I will sleep when I can. I'm standing up sleeping basically. So I just want to focus on the strategic side of the game, the social side of the game. And that's really important to me while still referencing some situations where I'm like, oh, that one made me uncomfortable. How can I avoid from that happening again?
Yeah, so obviously we've seen on some of these games where we have a blend of reality TV stars and just your kind of normal people, as you could say. I don't normal contestants. Was there any concern for you maybe that you were going to get recognized and maybe become like a target right away?
Yeah, 100%. There was always concern for me, but here's one of those experiences that I can kind of refer to. My first season of Survivor Australia, my mom was there, so there literally was no hiding. And I found the more I was willing to talk about her, not shy away or get upset with people when they're asking genuine questions that I would ask too, the more likely they were to kind of just drop it after 2 days and it wasn't even a topic of discussion. So do I want anyone to recognize me? No, not at all. But if they do, I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to navigate that situation based on that person, because you can also sense when somebody's a true fan and they just want to ask genuine questions, or when somebody's trying to dig and find something else to use against you. If that happens, I'll do my best to navigate it, but I hope it doesn't.
For sure, for sure. And obviously that reality TV background here. Also with Anonymous, it's kind of a blend of several different shows, right? We have a little bit of the Traitors, a little bit of the Circle here. Did you kind of research and watching those shows? Obviously, the Traitors for sure comes into fruition there. But did you do any research with that going into this one?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research. I have to admit, I am not one of the people that can study for hours and just cram everything. That is not me. I will watch one show at a time, an episode at a time, really think to myself, and just get that baseline. I want to understand the circle at its core. I want to understand the traders at its core. I love watching the players and how they navigate certain situations. But I am not the type of person that'll say, okay, when CT and Janelle and Sandra did this, this is what they did and it worked out. Because at the end of the day, you're not getting the full 24, 48 hours. And I know that. So while what they did worked, let's kind of remember it, but not forget that we're dealing with new people in new situations and they're not always going to react the same way. So have that baseline to go off of, but you still have to play your own game.
Yeah, because you don't, I mean, obviously, as already a previous player, you don't want to really go into this new show again with this mystery behind it with preconceived notions, right?
Exactly. You want to be adaptable and available to change and pivot the second you need to. And if you pigeonhole yourself and say, I'm going to play this game like this, in this way, in these steps, you're going to get left behind.
For sure. Obviously, the show is right around the corner, coming here on the 19th. Without spoilers, what can you tell audiences to expect from the Anonymous?
Expect some backstabbing, some very deceitful people. I mean, we've all seen the trailers. I'm seeing things I've never heard. We have Lily saying all kinds of stuff, Dylan coming for people. Robbie is not holding back in anonymous mode, and she is not the only one. I can tell you that for a fact. You're going to be very surprised and know that I'm going to be surprised with you. It's going to be really, really fun. And I cannot wait to see how everything comes together. And I know everyone will enjoy it.
Yeah, well, one last question. You brought up something that I would love to talk about is the idea of watching it back. You know, some of these shows you're all kind of together, but you still see missing pieces of it. Does that make your rewatch of what you experience a little bit better and different because you're seeing the pieces that you didn't see when you were living it?
It definitely makes it better for me because there's so many pieces to the puzzle that I am unaware of, completely unaware of. So I can't wait to see those moments where I'm in the house talking to you in a corner. I see two people having a discussion. I'm like, they're talking about me. Oh my God. And they're just talking about a movie they watched the other day. Like, I cannot wait for those moments. Or the opposite, where I'm engaged in a conversation, I walk away and it changes to be about me. And I'm like, you guys, I freaking knew it. I want to see those moments. I hope that everybody can be, things are going to get dirty. Not everybody's going to be happy, and probably myself too. I hope not too bad. But as long as everyone's willing to have a discussion and be like, look, I brought that up because I wanted to use it against you. Cool. Game, game, respect, game. I see what you did there. I understand it. I would have done the same. Those are the moments that I can't wait for. And I hope that it connects all of the castmates just a little bit more to have those fun conversations on why you chose to do or say certain things.
For sure. Nina, thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure. Huge fan of yours, and I can't wait for everybody to check out the show.
Thank you.